Todd Humber, the Associate Publisher and Managing Editor for Canadian HR Reporter. I'm here at the HRPA conference in Toronto, and today I'm joined by Anders Sorman-Nilsson, who is one of the keynote presenters this morning. So Anders, you've written this book called Digilog. If you can tell me a little bit about what is the Digilog?
Digilog really is the fusion that we're experiencing as business leaders right now, of the kind of fusion between the digital future and the analog past, or the physical reality that we have always known and the kind of digital amplified layer in the virtual reality that we're moving into. Really, this book was about looking at the shifts from, the personal handshake when we close a deal, or the having a glass of red wine, or even the kind of filling in of the CRM system via pen and paper, as opposed to moving into a future which is much more digital, much more ephemeral, and that moves very, very quickly. So the title of the book is How to Win the Digital Minds and the Analog Hearts of Tomorrow's Customers, and this sort of convergence of the digital and the analog.
Sure. Now you talk about customers. In the HR world, does that also apply to employees and how you interact with your workforce and that kind of stuff? Because a lot of stuff is done digitally. So is there an application there as well?
Yeah, spot on. And I mean, really today we looked at the kind of intersection here in terms of we're all consumers and customers at the end of the day. But really, how does that apply in terms of a work context? So one of the examples we spoke of in the keynote was about this idea of consumerization of technology. So oftentimes, I saw your phone before, or several smartphones here in the audience today, superior technology, and then sometimes we go to work, and if it's not bring your own device, we might actually swap out superior consumer technology for inferior corporate technology, which as staff and talent makes us ridiculously frustrated when our corporations then ask us to have better productivity and more output. So we are used to fantastic devices as consumers, and sometimes we'll come into a corporate environment and we feel like we've taken a step back 10 years.
Right. So then what, as an HR professional, what can they kind of learn from this kind of philosophy, this whole Digilog kind of thing? How can they kind of change what they do to make it more welcoming for the workers in that way, so that they really embrace that?
Well, we spoke really about three sort of key ideas here today. Yeah. The first idea is that every organization, every industry today is getting digitally hacked, either metaphorically or literally. Either someone is literally breaking into our systems, or we're getting hacked by fast digital startups. The second idea today was that we need to enable smarter decision making in real time. How? Well, your staff and your customers are taking life matters into their own hands, literally, via their mobile devices or their wearable technology, which means we need to be able to serve up, as HR professionals, relevant data, visualized beautifully, so that staff members can collaborate and make smarter decisions in real time with each other. The third idea is this idea that, hey, as HR professionals, which oftentimes now are being looked over when it comes to appointing, say, CHROs in organizations, and people are recruiting from inside business units instead, what we're seeing is that you need to start making HR sexy again, to develop your know-how or your savoir-faire about business trends and enabling technology. So we spoke about, thirdly, really, how to sell your ID virus as a HR professional and make HR sexy once again.
Right, good. Great, so shifting gears a bit, when you were researching this book and doing all the work that you put into it, what's kind of the most fascinating thing that you learned?
Well, I think for me, one of the inspirations really for the book was, we've had the privilege at my company Think to work strategically with organizations in 4 continents, mostly Fortune 500s. But I wanted to kind of take some of the concepts and some of the strategies we implement with large organizations around the world and sort of ground it in some kind of reality. And that reality for me is my mum's now 100-year-old menswear store in Stockholm, Sweden. It's kind of like, I like to say, it's kind of the Harry Rosen of Stockholm. And her business has been going through a massive shift with digital disruption for the last 10 years. So hopefully there is a middle point between my mum as a baby boomer and me as a millennial, where kind of the big ideas for the future and also the respect for the past and tradition and experience can come together.
Great, that's good. All right, thanks, Anders. Really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, great to hang out, Todd.
Thank you.